The floorboards rattled beneath Rosa Delgado's shaking hands the moment Luna began clawing at them, as if the building itself was urging her to uncover what had been hidden for 60 years. The abandoned Whitmore dorm loomed around her like a wounded giant, cold, hollow, but still breathing in the dark. Rosa stood in the shadows of the lobby she had just bought for $50, her son Mateo close behind her, his jacket thin against the November wind still whispering through broken windows. They had slept in their car for weeks, chased by eviction notices and exhaustion, until desperation pushed Rosa into a public auction full of people who had never known a night without a roof. She didn't belong there, yet fate raised her hand before fear could stop her. Now she walked through their new home, flashlight trembling, heart pounding as Luna's frantic digging grew sharper, more purposeful. The laundry room was dim and freezing, old machines lining the walls like rusted soldiers. But the moment Rosa kneeled beside her dog and pried up the first loose board, the air changed. Cold, deep, ancient. A trapdoor surfaced beneath her fingertips, sealed with an iron ring and wrapped in decades of silence. As she pulled it open, a breath of time rushed upward, musty, untouched, waiting. And Rosa realized she hadn't just bought shelter, she had cracked open history. The beam of Rosa's flashlight trembled across the narrow stone steps descending into the chamber, each step swallowed by shadows thick enough to feel. Mateo followed close, his breath shallow with fear and wonder, while Luna trotted ahead as if guided by instinct older than the dust around them. The hidden room was small, 8 feet by 8, but every inch pulsed with the weight of forgotten purpose. Tarnished silver trays lined the walls, stacked in neat towers as if waiting for a banquet that never came. Wooden crates rested beside them, lids cracked open to reveal more silver, each piece shimmering faintly beneath layers of time. But the true gravity sat in the middle, a dark wooden chest bound in iron. Rosa approached it slowly, her fingers brushing the cold metal latch. It lifted without resistance, opening like it had been waiting specifically for her. Gold coins glinted beneath the dust, hundreds of them, stamped with dates from the late 1800s. Resting on top were thick sealed envelopes bearing the Whitmore College crest, untouched for over a century. Rosa broke the first seal carefully, unfolding a yellowed letter written in elegant cursive. It spoke of a groundbreaking electrical generator, an invention capable of tripling energy efficiency, and the desperate need to fund its creation using the college's silver reserves. Rosa read the words aloud, her voice shaking as the room's purpose sharpened into focus. This wasn't treasure born of greed. It was the remains of ambition, a dream buried and abandoned, and now awakened. Letter by letter, page by page, the forgotten life of Professor William Ashford unfolded in Rosa's hands. A brilliant mind working far ahead of his era, pushing against doubt, politics, and fear. The documents detailed a prototype generator capable of rewriting the future of energy production, a machine that could have powered cities decades before the technology existed. But the trustees resisted. Funding dwindled. Rumors of sabotage grew. And when Ashford died suddenly in 1914, everything he built slipped into darkness. Rosa held the blueprints gently, their edges fragile, their designs breathtaking, coils, magnets, currents mapped with a precision that made even modern engineers gasp. The professor had hidden the wealth to protect it until testing was complete, promising to return it tenfold to the college. But war came, leadership changed, memory faded, and the treasure waited. Rosa and Mateo carried each piece from the chamber, their arms burning with the weight of history, stacking silver trays, gold bags, crates, and letters in the dusty laundry room as sunlight fractured through cracked windows. Surrounded by relics worth millions, Rosa felt the collision of two worlds, her life defined by struggle and this sudden inheritance of brilliance and potential. They could sell everything, start over, run from every hardship they'd endured. But as Rosa gazed at the blueprints, Ashford's vision meant to uplift a community. An unexpected responsibility took root. Maybe this treasure wasn't meant to be an escape. Maybe it was meant to continue the dream. Days blurred as Rosa plunged into research, hunched over library tables as she pieced together the truth behind Ashford's disappearance from history. Newspaper archives revealed whispers of rivals, industrial titans who feared his invention. Others suggested he'd died in a laboratory accident while testing the generator. The more she learned, the clearer it became. Someone or something had ensured his work vanished. When Rosa finally called experts, reactions shifted from skepticism to astonishment. A historian gasped over the letters, tracing Ashford's handwriting with reverence. A museum curator nearly dropped a silver tray upon discovering its Whitmore crest. A numismatist confirmed the rarity of the gold coins, worth far beyond their weight. And the jewelry? Genuine Victorian pieces brimming with diamonds and sapphires, but nothing ignited awe like the blueprints. Engineers spent hours studying them, whispering among themselves. He was creating technology 30 years early, one murmured. This could have changed everything. When the full appraisal totaled $7.3 million, Rosa felt the world tilt. Freedom, stability, safety for Matteo, all within reach. But she also saw the neglected hallways, the silent classrooms, the ghosts of students who once studied beneath this roof. She saw a building abandoned not because it lacked value, but because no one had dared to fight for it. Matteo looked at her with hope, waiting for her decision. And Rosa realized the treasure wasn't just money. It was a story interrupted, waiting for someone brave enough to finish it. Rosa's choice formed slowly, shaped by long nights staring at Ashford's letters and quiet mornings watching Matteo sketch renovations in his notebook. Instead of selling everything, she created a plan both reckless and breathtaking. She would restore the dorm, not as a private escape, but as a place of renewal. The ground floor would become a museum honoring Whitmore College and Ashford's revolutionary work. The upper floors would transform into an education center for single parents pursuing degrees, a safe haven she once desperately needed. She met with historians, architects, community leaders, and legal advisors. A nonprofit formed in Ashford's name, partnerships blossomed, contractors arrived, and the building began to breathe again. Walls were reinforced, the roof replaced, wiring updated. The east wing, scarred by the 1963 fire, rebuilt with historic accuracy. Matteo painted, designed, cleaned, and collaborated, discovering a passion for architecture rooted in this very transformation. Luna, aging but enthusiastic, supervised every task with gentle authority. Slowly, the forgotten dorm shed its dust and sorrow, becoming a place infused with purpose. A museum emerged on the first floor, filled with curated displays of silver, gold, letters, and blueprints, telling a story once lost. Above it, bright apartments and communal spaces took shape. Libraries, study rooms, a children's area, shared kitchens, all designed to support single parents chasing their futures. Rosa had taken Ashford's dream and breathed new life into it, building something that could change lives as profoundly as the treasure had changed hers. When applications opened for the education center, Rosa was stunned by the tidal wave of need. Hundreds of single parents fighting for a chance at stability, safety, hope. A review committee selected the first cohort, 23 parents and 36 children. They arrived with trembling smiles, worn suitcases, and hearts weathered by hardship, stepping into a building that felt like a miracle. The grand opening ceremony filled the restored lobby with historians, officials, journalists, and families. Dr. Chen shared the historical significance of Ashford's invention. Engineers spoke of his brilliance. But when Rosa stepped forward, the room fell silent. She spoke of sleeping in her car with Mateo, of bidding $50 on a condemned building because desperation left no room for fear. She spoke of Luna's frantic paws scraping open the past. And she spoke of Ashford's dream, how he believed innovation should uplift communities, not profit from them. He didn't live long enough to see his work change the world, she said, her eyes shining. So maybe it's our turn to honor that promise. Applause swelled through the hall like a heartbeat. Soon the building hummed with daily life, children studying in warm corners, parents sharing meals, laughter echoing in rooms once silent. Graduates crossed stages with tears in their eyes, clutching diplomas they once believed impossible. Donations grew. Grants followed. The center became a model for cities across the country. And Rosa, once a mother fighting to survive, became a leader reshaping futures. The treasure had done far more than create a museum. It had created possibility. Years softened the edges of the building's past, replacing cold emptiness with warmth and purpose. The old laundry room, once a place of darkness and discovery, became a quiet study lounge with soft lighting and comfortable chairs. A glass panel in the floor revealed the preserved brick chamber below, where silver and gold once waited in silence. Visitors often paused there, staring down at the chamber that had changed so many lives. Rosa visited often, letting memory wrap around her like a gentle cloak. She recalled that terrifying first night sleeping on the lobby floor, the building creaking like a raise. Restless spirit around them. But now every sound, a distant laugh, a child running, a late-night study group felt like music. Mateo blossomed into a gifted young architect, using his experiences to design affordable housing and community spaces inspired by Whitmore's transformation. He spoke with passion, purpose, and the empathy born from hardship. Luna, aging with grace, became the beloved guardian of the center. Children adored her, and she seemed to know her role as emotional anchor for those who needed comfort. On Rosa's office wall hung the auction phode, Ashford's letter, and a thank-you card from the center's first graduate, a woman who wrote, "You gave me my future back." Those words meant more than the millions hidden beneath those floorboards, more than the silver, the gold, the jewels, because they represented something priceless, legacy. Rosa hadn't just restored a building, she had restored people. Dusk settled in warm gold across the Whitmore Heritage Center as Rosa made her evening walk through hallways once drowned in dust. Now they pulsed with life. The shared kitchen buzzed with clinking pots and laughter. Children chased each other across the courtyard where weeds once choked the ground. Soft music floated from the practice room. A mother celebrated passing her chemistry exam. In the museum, glass displays shimmered under lights. Ashford's letters, the silver trays, the gold coins, the preserved blueprints, each one a silent witness to a dream reborn. Rosa paused in the doorway, feeling gratitude ripple through her chest. This building wasn't just restored. It was alive, it was purposeful, it was a generator of hope, ambition, community, and second chances. Mateo texted her from the library, studying late again. Heading home soon, he wrote. Home. A single word that once felt impossible. Rosa smiled as she slipped her phone away, her heart full. The treasure unearthed beneath the laundry room had become more than wealth. It had become a legacy that stretched far beyond her lifetime. And as the center glowed against the night, Rosa whispered a quiet thank you to the professor whose dream had survived a century of silence. She took a final breath of the warm, living air around her, her soul steady and full. If this story moved you, let its light continue. Like, comment, and subscribe so more people can hear stories like this. And tell me, where are you listening from, and what time is it right now as you hear these words?